Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most powerful, dangerous, and feared men in history, Genghis Khan. His name brought terror to millions, and wherever he went, he left nothing but destruction. He built the largest empire in the world, but at a terrible cost. It is said that he was responsible for the deaths of at least 40 million people, men, women, children, and even animals. No one was spared. Kingdoms fell, cities burned, and entire civilizations were wiped out. But how did a poor boy, born in a harsh land, become the most feared warrior in history? How did a simple child, who had nothing, rise to control half the world? This is the real story of Genghis Khan, a story of power, betrayal, bloodshed, and destiny. Most importantly, this story will help you improve your English and vocabulary. So, listen carefully. If you read this aloud, your pronunciation and fluency will improve. Reading helps you understand past tenses and sentence structure. Speaking practice is essential, so try reading this story out loud. Our story begins in the year 1162, in the cold, endless grasslands of Mongolia. There was no comfort, no warmth, and no safety. Life was hard. People lived in small tents, moved from place to place, and fought each other for food and land. In this brutal world, a boy was born. His name was Temujin, the boy who would one day be known as Genghis Khan. His father, Yasugai, was a tribal chief and a strong warrior. When Temujin was born, his father had just defeated an enemy leader named Temujin Yuge. As a tradition, he named his son after the defeated enemy to show dominance. Temujin was not born into peace, he was born into war and blood. From the moment he opened his eyes, he had to fight to survive. The Mongolian plains were merciless. There were no cities, no schools, no hospitals, only open land, violent tribes, and freezing winters. If you were weak, you died. If you were strong, you fought. Temujin grew up in a small family tent with his parents, 3 brothers, a sister, and a half-brother. They had very little food, surviving on horse milk and wild animals when they could catch them. But in Mongolia, there was one rule: if you are strong, you lead; if you are weak, you die. This rule would soon change Temujin's life forever. One day, when Temujin was around 9 years old, his father, Yasugai, was poisoned by enemies. He had made the mistake of eating food given by a rival tribe. As soon as he ate, he fell to the ground, coughing blood, his body shaking. He knew he was dying. Looking at his son, he said, "Son, you must be strong. You must never trust anyone. If you are weak, they will kill you." With those last words, his father died. Temujin, his mother, and his siblings were now alone. Their own tribe betrayed them and abandoned them. Temujin's mother, Holon, was a strong woman, but no one wanted to follow a widow and her small children. The tribe cast them out, leaving them to starve. Temujin, his brothers, and his mother became beggars, living in the wild, eating rats, birds, and even insects to survive. The Mongolian winters were deadly, so cold that their fingers turned blue and their lips bled. But Temujin never forgot his father's words: "You must be strong." Then, something happened that changed him forever. Temujin had an older half-brother named Begtur. As the eldest, Begtur believed he was in charge. He would steal food from the family, taking the best meat and leaving the rest to starve. Temujin hated him. One day, as Begtur once again took their food, Temujin's anger exploded. His eyes darkened, his heart turned to stone. He picked up a bow and arrow, aimed at his brother, and shot him dead. His own blood spilled onto the ground, but Temujin felt no regret, no sadness. He looked at the lifeless body of his brother and told himself, if I want to survive, I must kill. If I want power, I must take it. That day, Temujin became a warrior. At the age of 15, he was captured by an enemy tribe. They tied him with wooden shackles and treated him like a slave. But Temujin was no ordinary boy. He waited for the perfect moment. One night, when the guards were asleep, he saw an opening. He grabbed a wooden club, smashed the guard's skull, and escaped into the night. Barefoot, bleeding, and weak, he ran through the freezing Mongolian plains. The wind cut his face, his breath was short, but he did not stop. When he finally returned to his mother, he whispered, "Mother, I will never be weak again. I will build my own tribe. I will take my revenge." From that moment, Temujin's real journey began. He had escaped from his enemies. He had killed his own brother. He had survived hunger, cold, and betrayal. But he was still alone. He had no army, no power, yet. Here is your text in paragraph form. Temujin had no power and no tribe, but he had something more important, a dream. He wanted to unite all the Mongolian tribes and become the most powerful leader in history. However, before he could rule, he had to fight, suffer, and prove himself. Temujin knew that he could not win alone. He needed strong warriors, people who would stand by him. One day, he met a young warrior named Jamuka. They were the same age, both smart and strong, and they became blood brothers, a Mongolian tradition where two people mix their blood and promise loyalty forever. Jamuka and Temujin trained together, hunted together, and dreamed of ruling together, but fate had other plans. At the age of 16, Temujin got married to a woman named Borte. She was beautiful, smart, and strong, just like him. Borte believed in Temujin and told him, "You are different from other men. You are destined to be great." Her words gave him strength, but their happiness did not last long. One night, while Temujin was away, a rival tribe called the Merkits attacked his camp. They burned the tents, stole the horses, and kidnapped Borte. When Temujin returned, he found everything destroyed and his wife gone. He fell to his knees, clenched his fists, and his heart burned with rage. "I will find you, Borte," he whispered, "and I will destroy those who took you." Temujin needed help. He went to his old friend Jamuka and another powerful leader, Togrul Khan. "Fight with me," he said. "Help me save my wife." They agreed. With an army of 20,000 warriors, they rode across the Mongolian plains, found the Merkits, and attacked. The battle was brutal, arrows filled the sky, swords clashed, and men screamed. Temujin fought like a wild beast, cutting down anyone in his path. The Merkits were defeated, their leader was killed, and Borte was rescued. When Temujin saw her, his heart softened. She ran into his arms and whispered, "I knew you would come." But Borte had a secret, she was pregnant. Temujin did not know if the child was his or the Merkit leader's, but he accepted the baby as his own. His family was together again, but this war was only the beginning. Temujin and Jamuka had been like brothers, but as Temujin grew stronger, Jamuka grew jealous. Temujin believed in loyalty and discipline, he treated all his soldiers equally. But Jamuka believed in the old ways, where only nobles had power. Soon, their friendship broke, and Mongolia was divided into two sides, Temujin's army, those who wanted change, and Jamuka's army, those who wanted to keep the old ways. the two former brothers became enemies. In 1186, their armies met. Temujin had 20,000 warriors, while Jamuka had 30,000. The battle was bloody. Temujin fought like a demon, and his soldiers, loyal and disciplined, moved as a single force, attacking fast with strategy. For a moment, it seemed like Temujin would win, but Jamuka tricked him. He sent thousands of warriors to attack from behind, trapping Temujin's army. Temujin escaped, but 10,000 of his men were captured. Then, Jamuka did something horrific. He tortured them. He boiled his enemies alive, broke their bones, and beheaded them. This was a mistake. The Mongolian people saw Jamuka's cruelty and began to fear him. Many left his side and secretly joined Temujin. Temujin learned from his defeat. He swore, "I will never lose again." And this time, he would return stronger. Temujin changed the way Mongolian warriors fought. He valued loyalty over blood. Before, only nobles could be generals, but Temujin changed this. "It does not matter who your father is," he declared. "If you are strong and loyal, you will lead." This made common warriors love him. He introduced discipline and unity. Mongols used to fight in small groups, but Temujin organized his army into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, ensuring they fought as one. He also used speed and fear. Instead of fighting face-to-face, he trained his men for fast attacks, trickery, and terror. He turned his warriors into an unstoppable force, like a pack of wolves, and soon, he would use them to take his revenge. Years later, Temujin returned, this time with an unstoppable army. Jamuka's men were not loyal. Many betrayed him and joined Temujin. With no escape, Jamuka was captured by his own men and brought before Temujin. Everyone expected Temujin to torture him, just as Jamuka had tortured his soldiers. But Temujin did something shocking. He looked at Jamuka and said, "You were once my brother. I will not make you suffer." Instead, he ordered a quick and painless death for Jamuka. The Mongolian tribes saw this mercy and respected him. For the first time, all of Mongolia began to unite under one leader, Temujin. In 1206, the Mongolian tribes gathered together and chose Temujin as their great leader. They gave him a new name, Genghis Khan, which meant universal ruler. But Genghis Khan did not want to rule just Mongolia. He looked beyond the horizon and whispered, "The world shall be mine." And with that, the greatest conquest in history began. Genghis Khan knew that the richest land near Mongolia was China. The Chinese kingdoms were powerful but divided into different dynasties: the Xia dynasty in western China, the Jin dynasty in northern China, and the Song dynasty in southern China. Genghis Khan decided to attack the Jin dynasty first because they had insulted him when he was a young leader. Years earlier, he had sent a message to the Jin emperor asking for trade, but the emperor replied, "You are just a barbarian. You are nothing compared to us." Genghis Khan never forgot insults. He waited years for the right moment. In 1211, Genghis Khan and his army of 100,000 warriors attacked the Jin dynasty. The Mongols moved like a storm, burning villages, cutting off food supplies, and using psychological warfare. The world would soon witness the unstoppable force of Genghis Khan. Here is your text in paragraph form. Genghis Khan used terror to make people surrender. By 1215, his army reached Beijing, the capital of the Jin dynasty. However, the city had massive walls, and the Mongols were not used to attacking walled fortifications. Genghis Khan quickly adapted his strategy. He blocked all food supplies, starving the people inside. He also employed Chinese engineers to build siege weapons and sent spies to create chaos within the city. After months of suffering, Beijing surrendered. Genghis Khan and his warriors entered the city like gods. Some accounts claim that over 1 million people were killed in the attack. The Mongols burned Beijing to the ground, sending a clear message to the world: no one insults the Mongols and survives. After destroying the Jin dynasty, Genghis Khan set his sights westward. At that time, the Khwarezm Empire, which covered modern Iran, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, was one of the richest empires in the world. Its ruler, the Shah of Khwarezm, governed millions of people. Genghis Khan did not initially seek war, he wanted trade. He sent 500 Mongolian merchants with a message: let us be partners. Mongolia and Khwarezm will trade in peace. However, the Shah made a grave mistake: he killed all the merchants and sent their heads back to Genghis Khan. This was an outright declaration of war. Furious, Genghis Khan launched an invasion in 1219, sending an army of 200,000 Mongols to destroy Khwarezm forever. The Mongols moved with lightning speed, using their legendary horse archery and hit-and-run attacks. The Shah attempted to fight back, but the Mongols were too fast, too disciplined, and too ruthless. The most powerful cities of Khwarezm, including Samarkand and Bokhara, fell within days. Before setting Bokhara ablaze, Genghis Khan stood before its people and declared, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent me upon you." Over 1.5 million people were slaughtered. The Mongols burned cities, poisoned wells, and executed every soldier. The Shah fled like a coward, but Genghis Khan relentlessly hunted him down. With the fall of Khwarezm, the entire Middle East trembled in fear of the Mongols. By 1223, Genghis Khan's empire stretched from China to Persia, but he wanted more. His army marched toward Russia and Eastern Europe, defeating the Russians, Hungarians, and Bulgarians. However, in 1226, something happened that forced Genghis Khan to return home. A small kingdom in western China, the Western Xia dynasty, Tangut people, had betrayed him. They had once promised to support him but stopped paying tribute while he was fighting in the west. Enraged, Genghis Khan, despite being in his 60s, personally led his army to attack the Tangut people. The Mongols destroyed their cities, burned their temples, and executed their royal family. By 1227, the Western Xia dynasty no longer existed. However, during the campaign, Genghis Khan suffered a severe injury after falling from his horse. Some say he never fully recovered, while others believe he was poisoned or fell ill. In August 1227, the great conqueror took his final breath. Before dying, he gave one last command: do not tell anyone about my death until we finish this war. Even in death, he remained a warrior. His body was buried in a secret location, and to keep it hidden, the Mongols killed anyone who witnessed the funeral. To this day, the location of Genghis Khan's tomb remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Some believe it is hidden in a Mongolian mountain, while others speculate that a river was redirected to cover it. Despite the mysteries surrounding his grave, Mongolia honors Genghis Khan with a massive statue near Ulaanbaatar. Made of shining steel, the statue depicts him riding a horse and is the largest equestrian statue in the world. Visitors can enter the structure and stand on the horse's head to witness breathtaking views. This statue serves as a powerful symbol of Mongolia's history and pride. While Genghis Khan was a brutal conqueror, he had a softer side when it came to women. His first wife, Borte, remained his most trusted partner. Even though she had been kidnapped by the Merkits, Genghis Khan loved her deeply. She bore him 4 sons, Joki, Chagatai, Ogidi, and Talyui. However, Joki's paternity remained a source of controversy since Borte had been held captive by the Merkits, leading many Mongols to question whether Genghis Khan was truly his father. This doubt later created divisions within the family. Genghis Khan also believed in using marriage as a tool for political alliances. Every time he conquered new territory, he selected beautiful and intelligent women to be his wives or concubines. Some of his most famous wives included Yasujin and Yesue, sisters from the Tatar tribe, Kulan, a beautiful woman from the Merkit tribe, Shaka, a Chinese princess, and Gorb Basu, a Persian noblewoman. He is believed to have had over 500 wives and concubines. Today, genetic studies suggest that millions of people worldwide may be direct descendants of Genghis Khan. However, no matter how many wives he took, Borte remained his most powerful queen. While history often focuses on his sons, few realize the crucial role his daughters played in his empire. Genghis Khan was not just a loving father, he was also a brilliant strategist. Instead of treating his daughters like ordinary women, he used them as rulers. Whenever he defeated a powerful tribe or kingdom, he did not immediately kill their royal family. Instead, he made an offer to their ruler: "You can keep your kingdom, but you must marry your daughter to me or my sons." This way, he ensured that his empire expanded not just through conquest but also through diplomacy and strategic marriages. Here is your text in paragraph form. Genghis Khan's family controlled everything, but his genius lay in how he used his daughters to strengthen his empire. If a king gave his daughter to Genghis Khan in marriage, he would allow the king to live as a puppet ruler. However, once the daughter became his wife, he would send her back to rule the kingdom in his name, ensuring Mongol control. At the same time, Genghis Khan always made sure that the husband, the king, was sent to fight in war, where he would eventually die. This strategy ensured that the kingdom remained under Mongol rule with no enemy kings left to rebel. Several of Genghis Khan's daughters became powerful rulers. Alakai Beki ruled the Tangut people after her father's conquest and was loved by the people for introducing new laws that helped women. Torajin Khatun, one of the most powerful women in Mongol history, controlled the empire after Genghis Khan's death while his son Ogedai was officially ruling. Alaltan was married to the ruler of the Uyghur people and later controlled the region under Mongol rule. Sorguk Tani Beki did not rule directly, but she was the mother of Kublai Khan, who later became the emperor of China. Just like their father, Genghis Khan's daughters ruled with an iron fist, ensuring that no rebellion could rise against the Mongols. It is believed that Genghis Khan fathered hundreds of children, and today, 1 in every 200 men in the world carries his DNA. Even though Genghis Khan died in 1227, his empire continued to expand under his sons and grandsons. The Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson, attacked Baghdad, the heart of the Islamic world. They destroyed the city completely, killing the last Abbasid caliph, marking the end of the Islamic Golden Age. Meanwhile, another of Genghis Khan's grandsons, Bata Khan, led the Mongols into Russia, Poland, and Hungary in 1241. They won the Battle of Legnica, defeating a combined European army, and were prepared to invade Germany and France. However, their campaign was cut short when Ogedai Khan died, and they had to return to Mongolia. In 1271, Genghis Khan's grandson, Kublai Khan, became the emperor of China and established the Yuan dynasty, the first foreign dynasty to rule all of China. He moved the capital to Beijing and ruled in a more civilized manner compared to his ancestors. While Genghis Khan was a ruthless conqueror, he also changed the world forever in several ways. First, he built the largest empire in history, stretching from China to Europe and covering 22% of the world's land, an achievement unmatched by any ruler before or after him. Second, he reopened the Silk Road, making trade between China, the Middle East, and Europe easier. His rule enabled explorers like Marco Polo to travel to China, fostering cultural exchange. Third, he promoted religious tolerance, allowing Buddhists, Muslims, and Christians to practice their faith freely. Unlike many other rulers, he did not force people to change their beliefs. Fourth, he introduced a new system of laws known as the Asa Code, which was strict yet ensured order in his vast empire. Genghis Khan's life is an extraordinary story of resilience and vision. He started as a poor boy with nothing, betrayed, starved, and hunted. Yet, he never gave up. He united the Mongols, fought back against his enemies, and built the greatest empire in history. His legacy continues today, not only through his descendants but through the lasting impact of his empire. His story teaches us that no matter how hard life gets, one should never give up. True power is not in strength alone but in strategy and vision.